My co-founder and I have been working in the geospatial space for about, me 15 years, my co-founder for about 30, and even our first hires for around 20 years. And so we have been working in the mapping space for a long time, and we were looking at two trends. The first trend was that big data was going to be a big thing, right? This is what we were looking at 5 years ago. And also we were looking at mobile, and we knew that we felt that mobile was also going to be big. So we looked at our expertise from the past and said, hey, why don't we go and build the same software that we built in the past, except that now we have to rethink it about how is it that we can use the cloud and big data and mobile devices to leverage that. And so that's where AmigoCloud came to be. So for AmigoCloud, when we started it, I made a conscious decision to not raise too much money, too little money. So we raised about $1 million when we started. And that was enough for us to go to market and also reach basically break even and now profitability. So for us, we're pretty happy with the amount of money that we've raised and the amount of equity that we kept. And so, yeah, happily can say that it was a good choice. Mapping is so vast, right? Like when you work in mapping, you can work in things like, census information, like stuff that we did at our previous company. So you can work, sometimes it's intelligence, sometimes it's military applications, sometimes it's reconstruction, sometimes is infrastructure. Even at some point when I was on Microsoft, we worked in, Flight Simulator, the game that most people play when they're learning how to fly a plane. That also uses a whole bunch of GIS data. So we worked in GIS for a long time, and at some point, just needed a little break from it. So decided a few friends from Stanford GSV came in and said, hey, we're thinking about doing this startup. We got about, $2 million of money that we can raise. Do you want to, be a co-founder in this? And so we decided to build ModeWalk, an e-commerce site, and that was interesting. It was an interesting experience because we actually got to, join StartX, which is, like the Stanford accelerator, and that was great. I met a whole bunch of folks, founders of, LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, all these great people that I had really admired in the past. Got to meet all of them and get advice from these folks. And, from then, we created the company, we grew it, we sold it to another company called Mode Operandi in New York. And, once that was sold, it's like, okay, it's sold. So what am I going to do now? It's do mapping, right? Like, it's what I know how to do. And that's how I came back to mapping. So the feedback that we've gotten from our customers is that they want their mapping software to be as easy as your Gmail, or their mapping software to be as easy as your iPad, right? And that was not the case before. And so that's the future that we're trying to build with AmigoCloud. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can use mapping in your everyday workflows, you can come send us a message through www.amigocloud.com or send us a message through our Facebook page, facebook.com/AmigoCloud.